Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Let's Talk Movie, the place where you guessed it.
You got a friend in me.
If you were one of the people who watched last week's video where we talked about the first Toy Story and about how Woody's a piece of shit, then you're in luck. Because this week we're talking about Toy Story 2 and about how Woody's a piece of shit. No, I'm kidding. Well, yeah, what kind of? Toy Story 2 was a film that a lot of 90s kids couldn't wait to see. The long-awaited sequel took 4 long years until it hit the theaters in 1999. This film is considered one of the best sequels of all time, and I can't help but agree. Going back and watching these films was a real treat. It brought back so many memories that I had forgot about. From the video game opening with Zurg, to the toy barn, to the flashback of Jessie that made me cry as a kid. When it comes to making a sequel, there's a few things you need to do in order for them to be good, and those things being diving deeper into the characters' backstories, expanding the world in which the story takes place, telling a compelling story, and maybe a few callbacks to the original wouldn't hurt. Now before we get into all that, let's dive into the story of the film. Right off the bat, the film takes you into the Gamma Quadrant Sector 4 with Buzz Lightyear as he takes down Zurg. Though this whole movie brought back so many memories, I specifically remember this part and really liking the part where he was jumping and bouncing on the little floating disc. It is here where we are introduced to the new utility belt that Buzz has. Then all of a sudden Zurg comes out and roasts Buzz, and then we realize it's all just a video game. The gang hangs out for a bit before Andy comes in to get ready for cowboy camp, and this happens. He rips Woody. Don't worry, Andy. I remember the first time I ripped my Woody. So Woody gets put on the graveyard shelf where toys go to die, and he has this nightmare that I still remember scaring me as a kid. It is up on the shelf that he finds Wheezy F Baby hiding behind a book. Andy's mom comes in and grabs Wheezy and puts him in the yard sale box, and Woody, wearing his free Wheezy shirt, goes and saves him in the best way possible. So Woody makes his way down to the yard sale to save Wheezy, but ends up getting kidnapped by the greasiest man you've ever seen. Woody is then taken to the greasy man's apartment, where we then find out he isn't just a random toy after all, but is actually a really valuable collector's figure and is a part of a set. It is here where we meet Jessie, the prospector, and Bullseye. It is here where he realizes that he had his own TV show at one point, that he had all these collector's items, and then he finds out that without him, the others in his set will go into storage forever. So if he chooses to go back with his friends and be with Andy, he will ultimately doom his new friends to a lifetime in the box. Meanwhile, back at Andy's, they use the Etch-a-Sketch to put the Greasy Man in the chicken costume, and then they realize that the Greasy Man is actually Al from Al's Toy Barn. So the gang heads off on an adventure to save their friend Woody. I remember the first time I saved my Woody. They hop off buildings, hide in bushes, step in some gum, cause a 20-car pileup, and eventually make their way to Al's. It's here where they meet a lot of other toys and a lot of other Buzz Lightyears. This is also where Buzz sees the new utility belt in real life. So he tries to take the belt off one of his fellow Buzzes and gets his ass beat and put inside of a box while his new Buzz goes off with his friends. Meanwhile, back at the Greasy Man's house, Woody gets a makeover in the most satisfying scene of all time. He also debates whether he should go back with Andy, where he will ultimately be grown out one day and thrown away, or if he should stay with his new friends and be cherished and loved by collectors forever. Meanwhile, back at the toy store, the real Buzz manages to escape, only to have the evil Zurg follow him and try to kill him. They all meet up at the Greasy Man's apartment where they try to take Woody back, but Woody, being the piece of shit he is, says, "Nah fam, I'm good."
Because I believed him. Well, you wasted your time.
At this point, the gang leaves, but then Woody realizes that they can all just go to Andy's and be loved by him instead of being behind glass for the rest of their lives. But it's too late. The prospector shows his real colors and locks the vent so that they can't leave. About this time, Greasy Al busts in and loads them up to be sent to Japan. Now the gang must team up to go save Woody as they go to the airport. At this point, they go into the luggage terminal where, good Jesus, it's a lot of conveyor belts. My whole life I've wondered if this was really what it looks like in there, and I still have no idea. The prospector tries to pull a quick one on them, but the gang pulls an even quicker one and send him off with a little girl. Woody and Jessie then get thrown onto the plane by some shitty airport employees, and the plane begins to take off. They find a way to open the hatch by the plane's wheels, where their good pals Buzz and Bullseye are there to save them. They do the old hook and swing, and bang, just like that, the gang goes back home just in time for Andy to get back from cowboy camp. The end. And that is Toy Story 2, in a nutshell. This movie is a great sequel, but let's break down why. Let's take a look at the first aspect of what makes a good sequel. diving deeper into the characters' backstories. For this, I want to take a look at our two leads, Buzz and Woody. We'll start with Buzz. In this film, we not only get to see the Gamma Quadrant that he speaks so much about in the first one, but we also get to see him with his weapons and traverse through the different obstacles to find Zurg, who turns out to be his father, strangely. This gives us an idea of the different duties he has as a space ranger and really gives us a better idea of Buzz's character in his game. Now on to Woody. We find out he is actually the star of his own show and is a really prized collector's item. He has all kind of paraphernalia and even has a family of matching toys in which he belongs in a set with. In his show, he goes around saving the day with his pal Bullseye and is a genuine hero. I love this aspect of the film. It dives deeper than them just being toys. Because as you know in real life, toys aren't just toys. They come from something, whether that be a TV show, a video game, or a movie. And diving into their respective lores was the perfect choice for these characters. Now on to expanding the world. The first film kept the world pretty contained, but this one goes all out. They go to the airport, they go to the Owl's Toy Barn, they introduce all new kinds of toys in the store that are alive. We see Barbie, we see a lot of Buzz Lightyears, we see Zurg. They go through the city streets, they go through traffic into the apartment, the Gamma Quadrant. This film takes everything that the first film introduces and cranks it to 10. This film definitely succeeds in telling a compelling story, from cutting back and forth between Buzz and the gang coming to save Woody and the many trials they face, or through Woody's internal debate on whether to help himself and doom his friends, or vice versa. This film is the perfect example of making a great sequel. It succeeds in every category, from fleshing out the characters of the original to expanding the pre-existing world, and just making a really damn entertaining film. I, like many others, love Toy Story 2. It's funny, heartwarming, suspenseful, adventurous, and just an all-around great time. And that is why Toy Story 2 is the perfect sequel. Starting this month, I'm going to be posting one horror short film every month, and this month is actually a sequel to OK Google. So I'm actually really excited for you guys to see that. It's going to be coming out near the end of this month, but I really think you guys are going to enjoy this one. Were they about to